Okay. This is gonna suck. Well, not really suck. I'm more like totally a little on the perturbed side. Mostly because every single time I've tried to talk to this one girl, it's like, hey, I have a life, you know, outside of hanging out with you. Can you please, I don't know, let me have a life? Because somehow, out of everything I've had to deal with, she totally forgets that I am not going to drop everything to do what she wants. I mean, I literally had to tell her that one day. Because, yeah. I just don't know what to do about that one. Because she's just... That should work. But yeah, anytime I usually will talk to people, so, like, trying to come on here to play tends to be kind of a no-no to her, because she does not play this game anymore. Because she got bored with it, and she expects me to get bored with it too. Which kind of defeats the purpose. My scheduling right now has been all over the board, because guess what? I'm still recovering from surgery, so you can expect me to be off and on for the next couple of weeks. And honestly, I'm not gonna be like totally yeah. It's one of those things. So yeah, unless like something horrible happens. Hey, cool, she leveled. Alright. Let's see, she does need an upgrade in her stuff, in her stats, so that's not too bad. What, I can now sell that? I can't sell any of that. Damn it. She needs at least something as... Because she's... Okay, she's max level 67. She's 62. And her equipment are all 60s. Except for her hat, which, FYI, I really need to upgrade her material. Let's see. Now I can probably assign her an adventure that's a little up on her high scales. I'd like to get her up to here, but... Yeah, a lot of stuff in here are lower levels. Huh. Let's see. Sorry, I've been thirsty all day. Oof. Oh, anyway. So, as of late, I've been dealing with a lot of issues with people. I mean, no, seriously. Some people are like the super nice people that I usually deal with. And other times I have one friend who doesn't quite grasp the whole I am not interested in the drama that she is trying to dig up some days. Because I've had to remind her, even as a Wiccan, there are some things that we need to discuss when it comes to being able to talk about it, is paganism in all its wonderful irritations, there are some things that sometimes there are rules that some people just do not want to follow, and some days I just want to sit there going, okay, please just follow the rules. That's all I ask. Please just follow the rules. I don't really want to deal with drama. Unfortunately, I will get that one person in a group of friends who, try as I might to deal with their irritating things, I don't like dealing with their... I don't like dealing with it, and sometimes, as much as they think they're helping, they're not. I had one friend who I just, for whatever reason, I just could not handle any more of her, how do I put it? For a while, it just was an amalgamation of, why aren't you listening? And if you're listening, why aren't you doing it? I will be right back. Okay, sorry about that. Nature called. Nature called and they wanted me to come back. Anyway, let's start with that little story time with the person who literally can't get through their head that no, it is not a good idea to ask me to help them for a project when they're not trying to fix the problem. So, anyway, there was a girl I was friends with, and for whatever reason, she thought it was a great idea to tell one of my friends a bunch of bullshit and lies, knowing full well that I was sitting right there listening, because she didn't want to bother actually doing research on her own. And to be sort of frank, that irritates the hell out of me, because when people do that, they don't do the research. It means, as a pagan, I get more work dropped on my fucking head than I like. Oh, and believe it or not, there are people that I know in my community that are, complete... Oh boy. The fact that I had to drop on Reddit an entire cringe-worthy story about what happened to me and why I don't like going to conventions, kind of really hits home, because there are people who still think because, the person in question still thinks, that he has this holy right to, contact me, or if need be, he actually thinks I'm his girlfriend, regardless of what I've said to him. Now, to reiterate the story and why it is so important that I have to tell people this, is because the individual in question, which is, by the way, we call Weeaboo Billy, apparently got it in his head to try and talk to one of my female friends, who is named, oh boy. Well, I'm really not sure how I should just say this to people, but when she started telling me what was going on, I told her she should have contacted convention security on the matter, because honestly, I just can't wrap my head around why she didn't talk to con security first before she announced it on, yeah. So, honestly, I told her to contact convention security. Why she didn't contact convention security, I'll never know. So, what, transpired is, I ended up having to talk to her in regards to a... Huh? Oh, right. In regards to the fact that she didn't contact security, did not do as we told her to do, and ended up getting her account hacked. Yeah, that actually happened. The other thing that happened, and I am still, not sure I really can believe this happened, but she did it anyway. Oh boy. If you've ever met that one person in your life that you just know for a fact that she is going to do something stupid and do it anyway in the world's worst possible moment, yeah, that's my friend. And yes, that her name, I'm not gonna give her a real name because shout out to her would be kind of superfluous, but anyway, one shout out I'd like to do is a shout out to one of my good friends, Dirk Mez. Hey Dirk, how are you? Yes, I'm crafting crap. If you're on the Ultras server, yo, hello, welcome to my amazing storytelling, fun time, happy hour of listening to me talk about the dumbest things I've ever seen in an anime and sci-fi convention lifestyles thing. I'm just gonna mention that the person that I don't really like talking about people in general, but when you have people that I have been friends with so long who need to get their freaking act together and stop acting like holy gee whiz, they're like a total fuck up in their own right, but when it comes to the fact that they're a total fuck up and I am supposed to be your friend, I'm not chill with that. Alright, so I'm just gonna make mentions that I used to be friends with several people in the furry fandom and a while back, and these are people I knew as if it never really occurred to anyone that I was part of that friend group, but holy hell, I just did not know I had it in me to actually get pissed off at people. You know, getting pissed off is not one of my favorite things to do, but when you're like trying to play a video game and you have that one friend you want to leave in a dungeon somewhere and go, bye, they're not gonna get out of here. Because oh fun. One of my favorite dungeons. Woohoo! Giant idiot. Look at a giant boogie idiot. You know how, like, yeah, it looks like one of those guys who showed up to NDK one year, and I had to, I remember, like, there was this guy that showed up to NDK, and my friend, I think my friend Nikki was there, and it was freaking hilarious because the guy said the wrong thing. And he was trying to sell something to us and found out that half the money, we didn't have any money. We actually told him, dude, we kind of, one of my friends told him that, the guy kind of pissed us off because he was trying to tell us that getting high was like the best thing in the world, and obviously he never realized that the anime nerds spend 90% of their money like on day one in the fucking dealer's room, and the rest of the time we'll go back to the dealer's room maybe 3 or 4 times to get like stuff that we've never heard of before, just to try it out or something. And then yeah, the guy was like a total drug dealer. He totally just like pissed off my friend Mickey to the point that Mickey just threatened to just, you know, kick his tailpipe in and stuff. And I was kind of laughing, but I was also kind of like, okay, I don't want to be mean or rude to people, but if you're gonna do that, please know that people like myself, I never understood why anyone would want to get high or much less get do drugs at a convention, because that just doesn't seem appealing, nor does it sound like something you would want to do at a con, because you're in a place with a bunch of people you don't know, and yeah, that doesn't sound... Damn it. But yeah, that doesn't sound appealing to me, because drug dealers, going up to an anime con just to sell money, it really sounds kind of, downright stupid, if you actually realize how fucking dumb that sounds, and how kind of, if you excuse the language, yeah. Yeah, I was just... no? I think you were doing anything wrong, sir. Well, yeah, so when I was doing Anime Con, well, like, the last time I did an anime convention where I had to deal with Weeaboo Billy was back in 2019. And that was with, the fact that, Weeaboo Billy, approached me asking why I didn't, why I blocked him. And when I said I wanted a friend, not a boyfriend type of thing, he literally, got really upset with me because somehow I'm supposed to be his girlfriend or something. And then I told him, oh, well, no, I'm not your girlfriend forever, type of thing. But what really sucked about the whole thing with, the fact that, that happened at the con, there was one thing that did happen that I really had no idea until the guy sat down with us at the at the bar area, and I didn't know he was kind of trying to bully the director of the con to give him a blue badge, but apparently the guy's name is Dog the Bounty Hunter. Now, while I do respect the guy for what he does for community, he actually is not a very nice individual. But the thing was, he wanted information on the convention itself, and I was just sort of turned off by it and got up and left, because he also noticed I was pagan, which, by the way, to anyone who's Christian who comes onto my channel, one, I respect your religion enough as long as you respect mine. Do not treat others like, you have to evangelize, okay? That's just not cool, and a lot of my friends who are pagan just want to be left alone. They don't want to be evangelized to. We just want to have our fun and not be told we're in the wrong. This is what I kind of felt with Dog, is he felt I was probably doing the wrong thing, but also I wasn't breaking the law. that's the biggest issue that I've always had with fundamentalist Christians is it's that whole mentality that happened back when I was, there was an episode of this show in the 1990s called Judging Amy, and there's a line that actually she said, this trial isn't a travesty. This woman who was Wiccan lost custody of her child. She actually just gave up because, one, she lost her job, two, she was being run out of a small town. All because her husband, not her husband, her boyfriend, found out that their son, which he had no interest in to begin with, that she was Wiccan. And when I was coming out in 1999, that episode aired, and my mother actually took me aside and told me quite plainly, be really careful who you tell. And when I saw Dog at Nandasakon those few years ago, I was very scared of him. Because, one, I wasn't open about being Wiccan in front of people, because being open about your paganism actually could get you in trouble, and I didn't want to be in trouble. Because, honestly, in the early 2000s, being pagan was still considered a taboo topic. Being taboo, it means your paganism could be construed as Satanism. FYI, being, thank you. But when I turned 21, again, many people think that Wicca is Satanism. Oh, FYI, it isn't. It's not Satanism, FYI. Wicca is more connected with nature than it is connected to anything else. It is a nature-based faith. It is about connecting to the pagan, to yourself. It's about interconnectedness. Being interconnected to yourself as a human being, but also being aware that you also have your limitations and your abilities to exact change as you see fit. I was not aware of the fact that I could affect my own change. I was a child who was raised to make my own. I wasn't allowed to make my own decisions as a Wiccan or as a child because my mother. Because learning disabled are usually told from the time they're like that they have a social worker and someone else helping them. I don't have either of that. I realized that when I was like 25 or so. I didn't have to have a freaking... I didn't have that. I didn't need it. I could make my own decisions. I could do my own thing. That was the one thing I found out about Weeaboo Billy, is he couldn't make his... He had to have his, dad make a decision for him. So when he was, asking me out, quite plainly, he was expecting me to make decisions for him and replace him with Prince. So I was usually just told, you're just gonna have to deal with it. And honestly, I got really fed up because the fan base constantly talks about how being pagan or being yourself is great, but you're not allowed to be yourself. I wasn't allowed to actually speak out against him because I wasn't even allowed to tell people, hey, I don't really think you should be allowed to treat me like a jerk. My mom literally thought that was sort of like, hey, that's not a cool thing to say to my daughter, but it's okay, he's learning disabled. She should be forced to date him. That was the big thing. People always talk about, well, maybe you should have taken him seriously. Maybe you should have dated him. But the problem is, there was a 14-year age gap that I saw, and there was a maturity issue. So, yeah, that's the big thing that I have to do that. And blogging about it just tends to be the only way I can tell people, hey, this actually happened, and it's not cute or funny. But for frick's sake! Let me go. Yeah, that always bothered me because people kept telling me that I made a mistake, that Weeaboo Billy was a better choice than my husband. But FYI, that's kind of dumb, because my husband and me have been close, so close, for so long that I would rather communicate with him when I'm uncomfortable. When I had my first surgeries, he literally was there, hand and foot, totally there for me, and he didn't tell a soul that I did something wrong. And I don't really remember ever being kind of upset about it, because I knew that in truth, I'd rather be with my husband, because I love him. He's like the nicest, most pleasant, understanding, friendly, cutest person ever. And the day I just could see myself walking down the street with him as a little old lady with a walker talking to him about pizza or food or movies and books. I don't see myself sitting there with some mentally handicapped guy trying to have a conversation with intelligence and being told, let's watch Star Wars content. I love Star Wars, but I don't like to just sit there and watch it from the point of view of somebody who only grew up in the 1990s. I grew up in the 1980s. And there's stuff that I don't like talking about that he doesn't understand that he would probably bring up. That's the biggest issue with people born in the 90s. They think that everybody understands their point of view but not everybody else's. And that's the worst of it, because I mean, when I got with Weeaboo Billy and I explained to him what the 1980s was like, I mean, have you ever seen people who have ever seen people from that era ever having to deal with what I dealt with satanic panic, and having to explain what that is, to explain that it was a horrifying, terrible situation. Kraken, wonderful. But yeah, the situation I had with Weeaboo Billy did resolve itself in a one way, but the one way I couldn't handle was when I got told I had to be tolerant. And tolerance for me Alright. Let's see. Well, I do need to go to... Else is wrong. Let's take a look at my... Okay. Yeah. Let's see what else can I talk about that's happened. Other than my surgery, other than the fact I am extremely tired. I am tired of constantly bombarded by people. I finally saw... don't get me wrong, I actually liked it. I actually saw Interview with a Vampire on AMC+. Now, regardless of what people have said, or some people who shall remain nameless, and the argument I got into with one guy, because, yes, I got into an argument with an individual who said that, that AMC has ruined their quote-unquote lifestyle. FYI, I have been a fan of Interview with a Vampire since I was in middle school, okay? Honestly, I have no idea why people get so hard up on it, but it's nothing too... Okay, let's just put it, let's just be logical here, okay? For one, Interview with a Vampire actually is better than I expected, okay? Granted, I am not a huge fan of, most TV shows, but then again, I did watch Forever Knight growing up, and I did, want to join the fan club, but I was underage at the time, so I couldn't really join. But honestly, when people badmouth the new series, one of the things is I'm just happy we get one in the first place. I'm one of those kind of people. I love the series, I love the story, but I also understand where people are coming from in the fan base. But the fan base itself, there are some people who should just sit on a tack and rotate 90 degrees. Because, honestly, Anne put her heart and soul into this. And to hear people badmouth it, all because there are people who don't agree with her, with the way the show is going. You know, since Chris is probably the one that should be making comments on these, you guys got to understand, she's the one that entrusted her son to this show. I'm just saying it now. If you're going to treat someone like myself, who is a fan, like I don't know what I'm talking about, I'm gonna point out that I do. I grew up on it. I lived through the horrifying moments of my childhood of being bullied and called a bunch of things. The one thing that really got me really irritated is when you have people that aren't part of the fandom, like some people I know, who claim that they have a right to tell people what they can and cannot believe in the series. That's just wrong. I'm sorry that you can't imagine a world where Louis is black. I absolutely love Louis. I mean, Jacob Anderson made his character very compelling. It also raises the concept that Louis, at the beginning, was not a very good storyteller. That he was not a trusted storyteller. That he may have lied. He may have made assumptions or conjectures that maybe he was probably protecting Louis. Probably he was protecting maybe he was protecting Lestat. Maybe he was protecting But yeah, I literally think Louis probably was not a reliable storyteller. I'm just saying that now because, honestly, there are times I didn't really particularly like Louis as a character. I kind of preferred Lestat or some of the other members of the so-called family. Yeah, I think that Louis is probably not that reliable to a point because he has said things that may not have I mean, it isn't actually my say, but I would say that it was kind of, I believe, Louis' intentions to go out and look for other vampires to learn from. The thing is, I think Lestat was protecting him from the truth of their existence, that there is no actual truth, that they exist because they do. Apex predators don't always know their own existence. I honestly think that's the way vampires are. They don't know their own worth on existing because they know that they could and can destroy other creatures at random. I mean, you're looking at a huge amount of history. I mean, if you've ever actually read some of the Vampire Chronicles, you would get the sense you would know this. But Louis and Lestat aren't like the... I don't think Louis knows what Lestat learned living the way he did. His nomadic lifestyle. He didn't know that. He didn't know that Lestat came from a home where his parents were... But also the fact is... Well, the show has a kind of a coding message to it. That Louis is fine the way he is. That he didn't need to change for... That his lifestyle did not need to change. That he wasn't a total... biggest issue with the whole thing with Louis' brother. Honestly, I am going to do some spoiler here. If you have not seen the show yet, I do apologize, but yeah, I kind of looked at it as if Louis just sort of did this to himself at some point, and he made his life a lot more difficult. Oh my god. I really should have taken my mom up on her visit for the day. Honestly, I really don't want to deal with that drama either. Truthfully, I just want to make one comment to if my brother-in-law, my former brother-in-law is watching this. One, I can't pick my parents. I really can't. I wish I could. And I know you don't want me talking to my nephew if I still talk to my mother. But the problem is, I can't pick my family. It is just that, really that impossible. As much as I love my mother, I cannot... I don't love my mom as much sometimes, because she's a pain in my goddamn butt. But when it comes down to it, she's got her own issues to deal with. But I don't want to be mean to her, but I really wish my mother, one of the most important things in my life is that she'd understand that sometimes her actions make her seem like a really negative person, and I don't really think that my former brother-in-law understands my problem, because my mother is not the person that I can control. As much as I love my mom, I wish I do care about her. There are times I just wish she would treat people better, because sometimes she doesn't treat people very nicely. And that really affects how I see her as a person. And now, I don't hate being her daughter. I hate the fact that she treats me as if I'm supposed to, look, I can't pick who my parents are. I really can't. But I can do one thing, and that is the one thing I really hope that my former brother-in-law can understand. I'm their go-between. I can pretty much talk my mom out of being a pain in the ass if they want me to. All they have to do is ask. I mean, I have no problem helping them if they need it. I don't have any problems helping them. But I do have one problem, and that is when they're not honest with me about stuff. I love my nephew. I love my sister. She was a good person, but my sister also did things I didn't agree with. And honestly, my sister did things when she passed away that I didn't agree with, and I'm still affected by it. Whew. So yeah, my former brother Moss uses video, yeah. I acknowledge the fact that I can't constantly change things, but honestly, my mom giving up is probably kind of a blessing at times, but it also leads to one more problem. And the thing is, and I hate to tell you this, but it means that whatever inheritance Forrest may get in the future, he's not going to get it. This is going to be a kind of a blow to you, but whatever inheritance that my mom had planned for Forrest goes to me when she dies, which means the house up in Bailey, the property, anything will probably go to me. And I'm gonna have to be honest to you two. I'm gonna turn around and sell the entire property. I'm gonna just take whatever is there, whatever memories I have, including the pictures of my sister and my grandparents, and the rest of the property will be probably put on the open market. And everything else will be sold off. And whatever money that comes from it is gonna go pay off my debts and my stuff. And I'm sorry. That's my decision. And whether you and Billy don't agree with me on it, that it should go to Forrest, well, tough shit. My choice. I'm selling it off. I don't care. I don't care if that hurts somebody, because honestly, that's my decision. I'm not going to keep the property. I'm not going to wait around until whatever. It's my choice. Honestly, I think that is the best choice I have. Is I don't believe it's wrong to take what's mine and sell it off. That is my decision. And as heartless as that sounds, you guys aren't there to tell me otherwise, so yeah, my choice. I know that's heartless, I know that's cruel, I know that I'm going to get grief from you two over it, going, hey, what about Forrest? What is he gonna get? The thing is, that is my decision, whether or not Forrest inherits anything. If I decide, well, since my decision, I guess that's just the way the cookie crumbles. I'm just gonna take the money and go. I'm not going to stay and wait around and be a total... It's just a decision I'm gonna make, considering if I inherit the property at all, I'm turning it around and I'm going to make a profit off of it. Regardless of what anyone says, since Mom gave up, it's you're not, you can't just tell me, oh no, hey, what about your nephew? Isn't he going to get anything? And I'm probably going to just turn around and tell you, that is definitely not your decision. You decide to take custody. You decided to do this. So it's my decision what I want to do. My property, my inheritance. Truthfully, Forrest is not there, and that is my ultimate decision to turn everything over to... Yeah, I made that decision. It's not exactly wrong of me to do that. It's not really my fault. But yeah, you guys took custody. It's your responsibility now for Forrest to have an inheritance of things on his own. It's your family. You decide. I get my inheritance, regardless of how you guys feel about it. And yes, it sounds selfish, but in all, it's the truth. Yeah, my mother gave up. That means I get the inheritance. I get the money. I get everything because that's just the way the cookie crumbles. If that's fine by you, I don't rightly care either way, because it isn't your say. So thanks. I get to be the one inheriting everything. I get to do that. That's actually kind of cool. So yeah, is that wrong? No. Is it? Absolutely not. So, thanks Brian, thanks Billy. I get my inheritance, and Forrest gets nothing. That's just the way the cookie crumbles, I guess. So, yeah. My mom gave up, and that means I get everything. I get the house, I get the property, I get to do whatever the hell I want with it. And if it means me demolishing the whole damn property, there ain't nothing you two can do about it. You guys can sue me for all you want, but unfortunately, I get all the money. Because it's your choice. It's your decision. I love Forrest. I really do. But again, you guys made the choice to take him and to take the custody. So, quite honestly, I should be thanking you two. But I'm not, because I do want Forrest to inherit something. So, in my will, yeah, Forrest will get, a bare percentage of what I earn in the percentage of the property, which will be set aside for him when he gets married. That's right. He has to get married in my will to inherit anything out of my property. So whatever, that's just my decision. So, as selfish as that sounds, I think that is the better bet for my nephew, because it means that, yeah, he inherits something. It's better than nothing. But I will mention that that's just how I feel. I mean, I've been in the fact that I'm the other sister. My mother and father have always treated Morella better than me. That's always been the case. It's always been that way. I'm not angry about it. I'm just a learning disabled human being who my sister has always treated like she has done nothing wrong. The problem is, when you actually look at the way I was treated by my family, they always treated my sister as if she was special. And honestly, that has always been that way. I can't tell you how many times I've told people anything that's any different. So when I say, hey, that's just the way the cookie crumbles, yeah, I'm going to be making inheritance. I am going to inherit everything. Whatever Forrest gets is what he gets. But I'm not going to go out of my way and be a total bitch about it and say he's not going to get anything. No, my decision, and this is my decision, I don't care whatever anyone tells me, I'm going to make sure my nephew gets something out of it when my parents die. It's not going to defy the will, it's going to go into my will. Whatever profit I make, I'm putting in the bank. Which means, if my nephew inherits anything, it's going to come from me. Regardless. If I pass away, the only problem is, in the will, he has to be married. He has to have a significant other. Whether male or female. Does not matter. he will have to be engaged, married, whatnot. I do not care, but that is my ultimate decision in that regard. Because marriage to me means companion, somebody that he can talk to, rely on. That is the loophole. But also the fact is, I also don't want anyone else trying to inherit anything out of my family, because I want to make sure it goes directly to the people it's supposed to. I mean, it's not like I'm hurting anybody by saying, well, this is my choice, I am deciding everything. Now, before I say it, yes, I did make this decision, not because I wanted to, but I made it. I made this decision because my nephew is living with his aunt and uncle, and with his mother and his father and stepmother, and I want them to understand this is my decision. They can take me to court over it if they want, but it's my money. It's the money I earned. It is the money I am entitled to. If and when my parents died, it all goes to me. It is stipulated, it probably will be that way. It'll go all to me. It'll be my decision to break the house up, to take the items that are in that house, sell it off, and take what's mine. And if for any reason those two have an issue with that, it's my choice. It's not like those two are going to come up after my parents die to take anything from the house, because honestly, this is just my decision. I am going to be selling off everything. I don't care. Quite honestly, it's memories that need to go away. It is not it is my choice, and those memories need to leave. I want those memories to go away, and I don't want to deal with it. I know that is the wrong way to handle it, but I know my mother and father would understand if I tell them I don't want these memories. Because these are my decisions. My family is not going to be around forever. I know this. But I also know my parents would agree that this is the choice I will make to save my own skin. Now, will this mean people are going to hate my guts? Oh, most assuredly. I know they will. I know that better than anybody. I know that I'm going to be yelled at by a bunch of entitled jerks and people to tell me you're going to throw away memories of your family. It is a choice I am making. I don't want to deal with it. It is not about whether or not I am angry. It is not about whether or not I am frustrated. It is about the fact that people like my ex-friends are going to tell me that what I'm doing is wrong. I'm not going to be angry at people who are going to tell me that my reactions are bad. What I'm going to say is, this is my decision. It is the decision that was set about with the fact that we all knew it was going to happen. Whether or not my sister's ex-husband walks in to figure out what his son is going to inherit, and then finds out absolutely nothing is going to be given to this child, it is not for him to decide. The decision is made, and that is the only thing that can happen. And he has to accept it. So, if and when that happens, I don't think my sister's ex is going to handle it very well, is the fact that I'm just going to take everything and walk away. What is he going to do about it? He's not going to be able to tell me, hey, that's supposed to go to... It's not his decision. It's mine. Nobody's going to tell me that what I'm doing is selfish, because it's not. It's not selfish in the least. It is perfectly within my rights as a person in charge of my own life. The only problem that anyone can have is the fact that I am doing this because I feel it is my right. It is my right to be that self-centered. But it's also proving my point that by taking my nephew into custody the way they did, it will cost the child his inheritance. It's just not gonna be the way they think it should. They're going to be angry that I decided to say, well, I may be greedy to a point, but it isn't going to hurt him in the long run. He's not going to notice that he's not inheriting anything. I'm just taking what's mine, and I'm just going to walk away and take everything and sell it off, including my parents' property, and turn it either into my vacation home, or we're just going to sell it to somebody who wants it. It isn't as if my mom is gonna get upset with me for doing that, but you know what? I know it sounds kind of cruel, but, you know, I don't mean to be, but honestly, I'm just looking at it in a logical sense, what my parents would want me to do. And honestly, I think that this is the right choice. It is the correct choice, isn't it? After all, I'm the eldest child. I am entitled to that inheritance. And while I know that someone in my family will pick up on this video and think this is the most selfish thing ever, the truth is, this is the truth. There's nothing I can do about it. I loved my sister, I loved my family, but I am now realizing that everybody that I've dealt with over the years, including my sister's ex-husband, I'm sure he'll agree with me. I'm sure that taking the money and using it to pay off my debts and inheriting that house, I would tell him, yeah, but since Forrest is not part of the family, it's not really his money to talk about. It is mine. And I don't rightly want to share it. I mean, it isn't as if I'm hurting anybody. And I'm not really sure how else say it. This looks like fun. I mean, I don't know if it really should come to that, but I realize that there are many people who saw my parents' actions as wrong, but I personally feel that it is the right thing to do is to let the kid live with his mother, with his stepmom and his dad, and let him live his life. But also, the fact is, it is not his home anymore, and I believe it's perfectly logical, in my sense, of things, that I love my mom and dad, but, quite frankly, Morella's dead. I should not have to reiterate this in a self-centered way, but I'm sure that by the fact that it's not like my sister's ex-husband is going to tell my mother, oh, your daughter is going to turn around and backstab you and take all the money. It's already set in stone. I already made my plans. It's set. When my mom and dad pass away and I inherit the property, I'm selling it off. I'm taking whatever's there that's furniture-wise, and I'm selling it off. If there's animals involved, I will try and find good homes, or hell, I may inherit the animals myself and take care of them up until they're ready. I will take care of the pets. That's one of the biggest things about me, and won't hurt those animals. The truth is, I know that my mom and dad aren't going to be around forever. But I also know that since my nephew is not in the family anymore, I have the right to take everything and put my family first. If I have children, I'm probably going to put them before Forrest, just for my own sake. I would rather they inherit it. And to be honest, it's not a selfish thing. And honestly, honestly, I don't see my former brother-in-law, if I have kids, trying to say, hey, that's my son's stuff. Because I know he's not going to do it. He's not going to try and play that game and try and do that because he knows I'm not going to exclude my nephew from anything, but the property is mine. That is the one thing that I am planning to do, is to sell it off. Tear down the house and either A, turn it into a summer home, or B, sell it to the next highest bidder. That is one of the things that my mother probably got me. Like, it's the fact I'm going to sell your land to the next highest bidder. It's not like it's going to hurt her. She's dead. I mean, honestly, it's just, I think it's funny that, I honestly just should thank them, to be quite clear. It's not a greedy thing, but it is kind of, something to point out that means that my nephew wouldn't be written out of the will, but when I have my will done, my nephew is going to get a clause in there where he will get stuff that he wants, or needs. But also the fact is, I am going to be
I will crush you underfoot! Savages. There is nowhere to run! Enough! Can you withstand this?
don't know if I really should say it to their face, or I should just smile and say, the will be set, and I will be the executor of the estate. It isn't as if, Lee and I have made that decision a while back that I just don't think it's hilarious. I think it's hilarious, but I'm making plans to promptly, as soon as my nephew passes,
in the name of the Emperor!
As soon as my nephew will enough to understand, after his grandparents pass away, that my kids will inherit the property because we are part of the entire family now, because, since...
There is nowhere to run!
My mom rewrote the will, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with it, with her rewriting it to basically keep Brian and Billy out of it. Or at least keep Brian from getting anything. After all, Morella passed away. She can't inherit anything. My nephew is not in the family. He is with his dad. So therefore, since I'm the only one left, what right does Brian and Billy have? I'm just gonna be honest to them and tell them, yes, under selfish circumstances, I am going to be the executor, and I am going to make that decision. And that decision is that, of course, when he turns 18, he's not getting anything until he's married and he's 25. My decision is that I'm going to make it very difficult for them. And I will make sure that it does fall for me. Because I don't want that. I want my kids to get this. I want my kids to have fun. But also I want my kids to understand that yes, they have nephews, they have cousins, but also that my nephew, unfortunately, isn't part of the family. He isn't family anymore. It isn't a point of giving up. It's a point of the fact that I believe that since it's my inheritance that gets affected, I think that my nephew should have to know about it. But I also think that talking about it on here is kind of silly, but you know what? It's just probably, yeah. I'm self-centered at times, but I'm not going to be fully. I'm just going to make sure there's a clause in my own will where my nephew will inherit things, but he will not be able to get a hold of it until he's at least old enough where his dad and stepmom do not get to say in the matter. It's my decision to do that, and I honestly think that's not selfish. I think it's perfectly logical to put it that way. I don't know if that's going to be a thing, but, you know, if he sees this video and says, well, that's kind of a self-centered thing to do, I'm sorry, Brian. That was my decision, and honestly, I don't really see the point of just saying that, and you don't really need to know anything about it. Because I honestly think that I get really silly ideas in my head about this, but I don't think I'm going to inherit much of anything from my parents, to be quite honest. I don't know if my mom and dad are just going to give up on the whole thing entirely, but I do know that they were asked to give up by the judge, and so they are just getting the idea of abuse out of their system. But I understand that my mother and dad don't really understand that the whole concept of what happened with my parents, with the whole thing, is the fact is, I know my sister has said things to my mother that I can't really say per se is a bad thing, but my mom isn't a very good parent. So I don't know. Maybe she is, maybe she isn't. But I do know that my mom did not. One of my biggest complaints about my mom someday is that some days I think that she doesn't listen, and when she doesn't listen, she just gets more and more angry that she doesn't get her way. And this is all about her getting her way. And it isn't about my nephew, it's about getting her way. I don't believe any of the things that she has done is harmful, but I think what she has done in the past where she didn't put her foot down. I mean, I remember being told as a kid when I would get food that. This is what's on the plate, even if you don't like it. And half the time, the food my mom made wasn't that bad. The only argument I've ever made against my mom's cooking was the times she went on these strange half-witted diet binges. And those binges didn't get her anything. And they just sort of punished everybody. And I mean, honestly, some of her diet binges were extremely weird. Like the time she put me on Atkins, and I ended up really sick from it. It wasn't about Atkins, it was about just the fact that you didn't eat. You didn't eat anything. I seriously doubt my dad ever actually hated some of the food my mother designed us to eat, but I did understand that I wasn't the epitome of skinny like my little sister. Everybody in my family believes Varela was probably the thinnest little twig in the universe, and I was told I had to endure it. My little sister was Miss Perfect, and I mean, she was perfect. She was little Miss Perfect. Dumbest things about that I actually objected to my mom at one point in telling Forrest you need to eat something, and my mom wouldn't do it. That's the only thing I objected to. And I seriously really think my mother really should have thought about that. That she should have been a little more forceful about food. I honestly don't care if that scene sounds stupid, but I really would rather my nephew actually ate like stuff that even if he didn't like it, at least give it a try. I mean, like his mother, I actually literally got mad at her because for the longest time when I was in elementary school, guess who had to order her goddamn food? A cheeseburger, no onions, Happy Meal at fucking McDonald's. Oh my god, my little sister couldn't be bothered to order it herself. Even though my grandfather handed us the money, and mine was cheeseburger with no pickles. Because I can't stand the taste of pickles. And yet, here I am, an adult, remembering that my sister did that for years. And I got angry at her because she couldn't be bothered to do it herself. Then when I turned 24, we did the same exact damn thing because my sister didn't know what to order at an Indian restaurant. I honestly did not know that kind of thing. That was the one thing I objected to with my parents at all times, because my mother is one of those people who, are we all here? Good, I'm touching this. Good, we're all here. Thank you. But yeah, my mother wasn't exactly happy with that whole thing. It's my grandfather telling us we had to learn how to do stuff on our own. But I also learned that my parents were not the epitome of perfection in parenting. I remember my mother getting angry at me for not liking sauerkraut. I hate sauerkraut. I'm sorry, I'm not a freaking German. Embracing my German heritage. Yes, I'm Dutch German on my dad's side, and even then, I hate half the food. I mean, I'm sorry. Bratwurst is probably about the most I can handle. But sauerkraut, forget it. It just tastes awful. I don't care if it's cabbage. It's pickled cabbage, okay? I just can't stand it. I can't stand it. It's like trying to get me to eat, back in the day when I was a kid, trying to get me to eat some of the stuff that I saw at Wendy's or even BK. Some of it to me was just freaking grosser than shit. McDonald's, at least, some of the food wasn't that bad. But also, I actually liked the McShaker. The McShaker salads, they actually were pretty good. Not that healthy, but still pretty good. I don't know where the hell it went, but you know, I sat there laughing. One time my little sister came to visit, and I said, hey, let's go to McDonald's. Of course, it's like, look, I hate McDonald's. I'm like, no, Mom hates McDonald's. Alright. We're all here. Let's go. But yeah, I mean, that was the one objection I had with my food. Just plain food. I mean, she should have just told my nephew, hey, food, you know, eat. Don't just stand there and say you're not gonna eat this. Guess what, kiddo? You're getting it. I mean, my mother raised me on stuff like that. She told me food, even though I hate it. I literally have said that to people. I literally have said I hate some of the food that my mother had made, but I'd still eat it. Now that she actually can cook. Because there's some things she makes that I absolutely love. I love deep fried bean burritos. I love her chicken fried. I loved her chicken fried steak, by the way. I really did. I thought she was a very good cook. There were some things she made that wasn't healthy. But you know what? When it came down to it, there were certain foods that I could not see myself not eating. I mean, there are some things I would tell people. There are foods I know that my mother used to make that made my heart sing each time she made it. And sadly, she doesn't make it anymore because she thought...
You have meddled enough!
Is the fact that my mother believed that she was doing something good for me. She could do it. And that was sad because some of the foods she made for me as a child actually didn't help me. It didn't help me to understand that she was my mom. One of the things I really wish my mother would have done as a child when I was growing up
such strength.
the reason my mom never actually talked to me about diet and exercise and stuff is because we did. I did do a lot of exercising as a kid. I did do things like I went out and ate, but I also enjoyed some of the treats I got. That's the one thing I miss, is those special treats. I can't find the best chicken fried steak anymore. I wish I could. And I really want to say to my mom, hey, thanks for giving me a chance to enjoy my life. But the problem is she couldn't even give me that. And one of the biggest things I miss is my own childhood. I really miss my childhood where my mom wasn't a total... I just wish my mom understood that what she used to do as a kid wasn't exactly funny. I didn't appreciate some of the crappy sense of humor. But I do not think that she was abusive at the time. But she was condescending. Just that little bit of... She said she cares, but she also was more interested in keeping a position of influence in her life, where I got stuck being kind of treated like a pariah in my childhood. I think that's probably where one of the girls in my class, Dana, kinda told me years later she couldn't stand the Courtney joke that I made about her, because she couldn't understand why people didn't have that crappy American Girl doll semantics. Not everybody was stinking rich, but she understood that I wasn't. But she also understood that everybody has that one moment in their childhood where you can actually sit there and go, hey, look, you're not Miss Perfect. Of course, she also pointed out that there were things I did that actually people didn't quite grasp. Like the time I didn't understand, I didn't like those movies that she thought I liked. I can't believe I did that really well. But yeah, I don't really think my mom was that bad, but I do think, now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, if I do end up inheriting the house and everything, what I was gonna do is set up a clause in my will for my nephew where he gets money, but there's a bit of a loophole. More for the fact that I really want my family to understand that I don't really think my sister's ex-husband's going to like what I'm going to do, but there's nothing he can do about it because, you know what? It's my choice. I can just tell him, yeah, well, you know what? You decided to do this, so I'm just gonna do this. So, yeah, I'm gonna just change the will about, and you'll figure it out. I'm sure he's not gonna like it, but then again, he's probably gonna go, I cannot believe she did this to me. And then I'm gonna go, yeah, well, you know what? Sucks to be you. I'm the one inheriting everything. So I'm just gonna tell you right off the bat, this is what I'm gonna do. Take it or leave it. You're gonna have to live with it. You are not gonna be happy, but you know what? I don't really think that I'm doing anything wrong, because I am the executor of my parents' estate, and I think as somebody who is the executor, I have that a right to do it. And I'm sure that you're not going to be angry or upset that I'm doing this, because honestly, it's just the way the bubble bounces. I'm not going to be angry at you if you're going to take me to court, but I am going to make a really big comment to you that this is not, this is my decision. This is my, alternative. If you don't like my decisions or my reasoning for doing what I'm doing, there's really nothing you can do about it, because you're not inherently a member of the family. That's the biggest thing. I'm just going to tell them. I am going to point this out. You're not a member of the family, so therefore you can't say anything against me. That it is my decision, ultimately. I am going to be telling you guys what is going to happen and what Will's gonna say, and it's going to be tough on you. Yeah, you're not gonna like me. You're gonna tell me I'm a total bitch. But are you really gonna attack the fact that I am trying to keep your son in the will, in my will? Are you going to get mad at me for changing up everything, taking the inheritance and changing it up? Are you really going to attack me over that, knowing full well that I am going to rewrite my will to suit? Is it really going to hurt you? Are you going to get angry at me for doing that? And the answer is no. They're not going to get angry at all, because I'm going to be telling them the truth, and I'm going to tell them it is not their decision. So, no, I don't think, they're going to get angry at me about it. They're gonna just go, okay, so you're not going to exclude our son, but you're going to make sure that he inherits something. Yes, I'm going to be a very good aunt, but I'm also going to point out that I am not going to let you guys get much of anything monetarily. You're not going to get money out of my parents. You're not going to get money out of me. My nephew is going to inherit some things from me, but I am going to make sure that I'm going to get quick tongue. Savage Aim. a definite for my wonderful person. Huh, okay. So first thing, first I'm going to they know my family and where I am coming from on this. They don't know where my family comes from. They don't know what I've been through and dealing with. I will mention I have seen some stupid crap my mother has done, but honestly, I think the one that cracks me up is when you have people like my sister's ex-husband making broadline comments to me about stuff, and then finding out I am a complete and utter asshat when it comes to stupid shit that I literally have zero tolerance for. I mean, my sister's ex-husband just found out I can be a bit of a jerk. And he is finally realizing that I am not playing around if he makes a mistake. And he just made one that was gigantor. So, yeah, let's just say that. I'm not going to be mean about it, but I am going to make mention that, honestly, yeah, I am going to make it really difficult for them to get inheritance out of my parents. Because I'm honestly thinking, yeah, I'm probably going to just do this to my mom and tell them, yeah, well, this is how I'm going to handle it. If the two of them want to, if these two want to have a throwdown with me talking about how they don't think it's fair, well, here's the thing. I don't rightly give two hits on the side of the road on this one, because it's not like the two of them are gonna really get anything too severe from me. They're probably gonna just get some really weird stares as I tell them, well, yeah, you do have to realize I am not playing around. I am not going to be the nice person when it comes to anything I think I deserve. But I also believe that it isn't self-centered to say it, but they're the ones who wanted to basically be in control. And they're not wrong on their assumption of me, but the fact is, what they're not realizing is I am in charge. I do have something there, and that is, I don't really care that much about their personal hijinks. Yes, they can have whatever they want. They can talk however they please. But let it be known, I don't actually care. I am cold. I am calculating. But I'm also a highly intellectual individual who spent half her time planning out my own intelligent, artistic thought schedule. That is, I want to make sure that if I have to take care of my nephew, in his inheritance, I don't have to deal with drama. And I'm sure that my sister's ex is probably going to think, okay, my sister-in-law is a very dangerous person. And yes, I am dangerous. I am not a fucking joke. You may think I'm a joke, but I'm also very, very easy to live with. But since you two play the game, I get to play the game back. Yes, I inherit whatever the fuck my sister. But I'm also not. I am not going to let you think I am not intelligent. If you want me to think you are a self-centered, pizza-loving idiot, yes, I'm not going to back down. No, I am not going to be evil. I'm going to be your worst nightmare. So, honestly, do yourself a favor and check yourself at the door. I am not playing. I own that house when my parents died. I get everything. There is not a damn thing the two of you in the galaxy can do. All you can do is sit there and let me do it. Let me take everything. Let me sell it. Let me do everything I want to do. I am not a manipulative person by nature, but I am, however, a very calculating and calm person when it comes to things I know those two are going to want. One of the which is what my parents have told me. If they want to inherit my mother's land, they get to go through me first. It's not like it's rocket science. What are the two gonna do? Take me to court and sue me over the fact that I have basically taken money from my parents a few times and have told them, well, you know, I'm not stealing, but I am pointing out that I can, if motivated, I can make their decisions very difficult because I am basically taking the inheritance that Morella would have gotten and using it to my own advantage. FYI, it's not stealing. It's appropriating the right fundage to do what I am inherited to do. And FYI, if Brian is watching, yes, I am legally able to do this. Because I know my parents. And I know my dad and my mother. I know my mom quite well. And that is you and your wife have just taken money away from my nephew and have given it straight to me. Let me remind you, I'm not to be a bad influence, but I am going to point this out, that you can't just let it go, because honestly, it's my money now. So, yeah, I'm sorry. Well, wait, not sorry. Sorry. I'm not sorry at all. It's not like the two of you are gonna come up and say, hey, is Forrest gonna get anything after your parents are dead? The answer is, I don't know. You did take him from my mother, so it's not like you're really gonna be getting any money out of my mom. Come on. It's not like that's gonna really be an issue here. My mother is a, individual you don't really want to screw with. But you're also realizing now, I could potentially be a very, so, honestly, I think that it's kind of hilarious that I'm gonna have to say it to them eventually, that I am going to be their worst nightmare when it comes from the fact that the two of them probably have just realized I could probably, make their lives very difficult when it comes to inheritance and what my nephew is going to be getting. Because guess what? Yeah, I'm sorry, not sorry at the same time. I bet my little sister to this day is going to be laughing her tail off at me for doing that. Because I love my sister, but I also understand that I am going to be making a lot of things extremely hard on those two, and well, I'm sorry, not sorry. You know, it's gonna be wondering if those two have figured that out yet, or should I just make a smile and hope to God they haven't figured it out yet? Because I'm waiting until somebody suddenly says, so your parents just passed away. Is my nephew getting anything? then watch as those two's brains suddenly go, no. Because, honestly, in fact, those two did take custody of my nephew. And it was legal, mind you. But, legally, my mother can turn around and say, well, yes, it's legal, but we're gonna be taking the most awesome thing from you and not tell you that Morella's sister is getting everything. I mean, to be quite honest, that's what's gonna happen. And while that is gonna happen, the two of them are going to watch as it's just a huge deal that I am not gonna be as mean about it, but at the same time, I'm just gonna make it very clear to those two that I'm not sorry. I am not sorry in the least of what I'm gonna do to them. And it's nothing they can do. I can't just say, hey, I'm sorry, I can't do that. But I can tell you that dark matter cluster creates a dark matter. I think I have that. So, anyway, the thing I was going to discuss that I think is kind of interesting is even though I have 2 days off, I'm a little perturbed because I lost my glasses at work. I have reading glasses that I use for doing this, and I left them at work. Hopefully, I didn't lose them. If I lose them, that's like $500 down the tube. Even though half of my insurance paid for it. But the truth is, I can't afford to buy new ones, so yeah. Anywho, the other thing I was going to discuss, which actually makes kind of funny sense, is there was some kids I used to be friends with at, okay, when I used to go to Nandasacon, this anime convention, I used to be friends with these people, and they were just these random jerks that I used to hang out with. Concentrated parasites. Alright. Mossy stone sword. I know I have one. I just don't know where I have it. If not, I'd have to go buy one. I may not have it. Nope, I don't. Which means I have to go all the way back to New Gridania and go to... You know, I think it's kind of ridiculous sometimes where I just spend all this time doing crafting. I know it's kind of boring, but holy crap, look at all my friends on my free company. By the way, if any of you have ever actually talked to me about the gaming aspect of this, one of my biggest things is I would love to do an entire thing dedicated to Legends of Mana. Legend of Mana is one of my favorite games of all time, and I really want to get back into it and just do a whole new scratch game. Yes, that's it. A game from scratch where I can have a time where everybody can meet up with me. And that's the first thing we talk about. Is Legend of Mana and the craziness that goes with it. By the way, if you are ever going to ask me anything about anything, go ahead, ask me. I have been in the freaking community of anime nerds, sci-fi fans, and shit for years. Okay, no, not years, decades. Decades. Okay? I have been in that fan base for decades, and honestly, the only thing I have ever said to anybody, and this is the kind of thing I've said, is I don't approve. I don't understand why people get really upset with me when I mentioned I hated some of the things people have said about my, I remember my sister's, former friends in school. There were some girls that used to just, like, talk shit, and I always thought it was weird that they said that they were my sister's friends, and they never were, and I always thought it was kind of weird when I heard, them try to talk nicely, and they never did. I mean, these are girls that thought that my sister was, like, a total... I never get it. I never understood. How can you be friends with my sister and still be a total dick about it? Then again, I love my sister, and I miss her horribly. Alright, I gotta be right back. Okay, back to work. Yes, back to work. Back to grinding away at my need to level up my... Yeah. Let's see. Should I actually look at my Black Knight? Where is he? Pudding flesh. Pudding flesh. Yeah, stuff that aren't selling in my... I'm just gonna return that to my inventory. Yeah, I'm removing stuff that I know isn't gonna sell, and then I'm just gonna sell it to one of the merchants and then use the money that I get from that to start getting my... I used to just desensitize them, but it's just more to just sell it and just be done with it. I honestly just want to get these out of my freaking inventory. Alright. Now, the other thing I think is very entertaining is when I told a friend of mine that I couldn't stand some of the stuff that they were into, and then they were expecting me to be into it, and after I told them I wasn't, they just sort of stopped being my friends. And it kind of got stupid because I would show up to a convention and it would be like, I wasn't exactly welcome, so I just sort of just went, okay, if I'm not welcome here, I'm just not gonna bother to show up. So some guy, I forget what convention it was, but she told one of my friends that I wasn't into this particular show, and I said, yeah, I'm really not interested in what was it, Naruto or something, and that was like something that people were like really upset about, was I wasn't into it. And when I explained why I wasn't into it, I got told that that was an acceptable reason. And I said, I'm sorry, I call it Naruto stupid, because why should I watch a show where all the character says is believe it? And that was the biggest problem. That's like the biggest drawback I have with fans of Naruto, is they get really offended if you're not into their show, and then they get really in your face about it. Like, honestly, I don't understand why you have to be so rude about it. I mean, it's not like I'm really going to do anything stupid and immature, but when you're being immature and you're acting like that everybody has to be into the same show you're into, that's not how anime works. Then again, anime logic always dictates that if you're into something that nobody else is into, you're the oddball out, you need to start actually liking what everybody else likes. Unfortunately for me, that fell into, I don't really like, my friend was into DBZ, okay? I don't mind if he's into DBZ. What I mind is if he is telling me constantly that DBZ is the end-all be-all to to all that. I really don't understand it. So, yeah. Good luck with that one. I have, like, zero tolerance to people who treat me like I have to like it. So, yeah, that's just that's just an FYI for that one. The other one that got me was I was friends with one girl in high school that I could not understand her obsession with, okay, I never understood this obsession, okay? It kind of just sort of, you know, culminates with the whole, why are you into this, but also why are you constantly telling me I need to be into it to be friends with you? That was always the weird thing about this one girl that I was friends with in high school. She was just so into this series, of, like, when I was trying to tell her I wasn't into, what was it? Dragon Ball. She was into Dragon Ball. I was into, like, oh god, what was it? Was this really stupid show on, let's see. It's just this show that she was into, and I wasn't, and then she would get really mad if I didn't watch it with her, so I didn't understand why she got mad at me. So, I mean, I just sat there one day, asked her, what's the sitch, why are you mad at me? And all I got was because I didn't like the show. I'm sorry, I don't understand your logic here, Mr. I'm sorry, I don't get it. Why? Why do I need to like a show if I don't like the show? And suddenly I'm supposed to watch the show and I am standing there going, why am I really not into this? But again, nobody in my freaking fandom ever explained it, and I didn't understand why people in my fucking fandom got mad at me for not liking Naruto. I couldn't get it. It just didn't click with me. I don't get Naruto. I don't understand the whole nuances of it. Why is it important? Why do I need to watch it? Why is everybody getting mad at me when I don't like it? And then I have to explain to you that the reason why I don't like it. And then I get told I'm being immature and mean, and yet you're the ones being immature and mean. I mean, I totally forget that people in the Colorado anime community got on me for not liking Naruto. I get that. But I also don't understand why I have to tolerate being told I'm being unreasonable when they're the ones being unreasonable. Dear Lord, I really wish I could tell people that I don't like Cat Girl Nuku Nuku, but oh my god, I have to watch Cat Girl Nuku Nuku, and then I get told a bunch of funny ass shit, and I want to go, okay, I don't like Naruto, so why am I watching it? So, I'm just like, okay, I don't understand why everyone gets mad at me over that. But then again, I also get mad at people who think I get so irritated with people who do this, but they don't read. You put up a sign, these people do not read it. And of course when your coworker says, even if there is a naked person standing and dancing around a sign, nobody will read it. How the frick does that work out? I want to know. Am I the only one in this freaking country that sees that and wonders, why the fuck do you people not read? And then I'm like, oh, right. That is a special thing. Reading. That is a totally, unattainable, irritation of being around irritating people who would rather just sit there and look at you and go, hi, I'm an idiot. That's not how this world works, okay? I am sorry, this is not how I work. I don't understand why people can't just read a goddamn sign. I literally work at a place where you have a giant sign that says, please check in. And, oh, no, they don't check in. They just look at you like, hi, are you busy? And I might be actually working on something or helping another person on the phone. So no, I am not telling you to do this out of the kindness of my frickin' heart here, people. Please sign in before I scream bloody murder and go completely like, I don't care. I want to frickin' strangle everyone in the room and just fall asleep and hope to God I don't hurt anybody. But again, I'm a fucking idiot and I have to be nice to everyone. That's the fucked up part of my life. Have any of you ever had to deal with that? Please say yes. Because I'm to the point where I want to go smack somebody upside the head and yell, this is not how the human race is supposed to work, you know? FYI, yes, I am being sarcastic, yes, I am being silly. But here I am talking about the dumbest things I've had to see today. Well, yesterday, and I posted it on my fucking Facebook. And I am praying to God nobody in my freaking work gets wind of it, because honestly, it's the most fucked up thing I have had to write. And you know what it says? If you have to say it. If you have to say it like that, then you know for a fact that people are dumb enough. And of course, when you have a manager say, there's no way anyone's that stupid. I'm sorry. Yes, there is. I have seen the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire existence working at Walmart. And yes, I worked at Walmart for 7 freaking years. If you ever want me to talk about how stupid people are, I can tell you, there are some pretty big winners out there. And some of them, I wonder how the frick they woke up in the morning. Because some of them, I had to deal with on a daily basis. And some of them need their head checked. One of my favorite ones was this one guy who came into the store, and I was the only one that was nice to him. And he literally had to tell a manager that I should be getting a fucking raise for half the shit I put up with. FYI, I hope that guy is doing better, because his fucking attitude was the best. And he was freaking hilarious. Because I had to deal with the dumbest people. And I felt so bad for his wife. When I mention this to people, Yes, I had to deal with the dumbest people on the planet. And some of them, I always wondered, why the frick were you born? Why the hell are you even here? Because some of them, I swear to you, should never be allowed to breathe with some of the shit they've done. FYI, yes, I went to fucking college, and yet I had to deal with the dumbest people you've ever met. And OMG, half of them shouldn't even be in high school. Some of them, I wondered how the hell they got into high school. And one guy told me, I don't know, but when they showed up, yeah, I don't know. It frightened even the most dumbest. My mom still to this day, we are still trying to figure this one out. So anyway, when I went to college, I met some people, and some of them, I wondered how the hell they function in the human race. Because some of them, I could swear they were probably dropped on their heads as small children. There was a guy that was in our basketball team, and his name was Brandon, I think? I don't know. He showed up at my door for a party that he thought was in my dorm room, and when I explained to him there is no party in my dorm, he basically flipped out and ran down the hall that he got stuck talking to a nerd. So he just sort of went, I can't believe I just talked to you like that, and I'm sorry, I'm going away now. I literally wanted to smack him upside the head with something, because he was the dumbest person I had ever met, and his excuse for coming to my dorm room was because he thought there was a party. May I mention, I don't do parties, and I also suffered from anxiety, and he thought it was funny until I yelled at him the next day for waking me up. Yeah, I felt bad at first, but then I realized, these people at my dorm do not understand what anxiety does, especially if you're like the dumb. I mean, I don't mean to be mean, but if you are like not awake and some dumbass comes to your door asking if there's a party and you're like, no, why are you at my door? And you're like a total stranger. Go away. I don't know you. And of course, everybody at my dorm is a art student, and he's terrified of talking to a nerd? Am I on planet stupid somehow? But yeah, my dorm had like art students and other kids in it, and I was sort of like, okay, I don't know what to tell you, but I am like totally not, yeah, no. Yeah, I literally wanted to go tell my ex I wanted to move to his parents' house. And of course, I should have, because there are people that are completely dumber than dirt at this dorm. and I wanted to go cry in a corner because of how dumb this came out as, because I honestly don't understand the whole, hey, let's go party, and I'm like, nope. No, thank you. I am totally fine. Goodbye. Don't, Astavadanya, do not call me. Do not talk to me. I have no clue who the frick you are. Please leave me alone. I am not your compatriot or your party animal friends. Thank you. Goodbye. And that was the whole dorm room experience for me. Because some people are complete idiots, and I don't understand anybody who would go partying in my dorm, because my dorm had the most strictest rules I have ever seen, and I was in North Hall when a dumbass decided it was a great idea to okay, if you've ever been to a dorm and ever actually met people, there is a few things I should tell you. There are people in my dorm that absolutely were the dumbest people you would ever encounter, but here's the thing about that. The people that ran my dorm actually knew my mom, so it kinda was interesting, because my mother called it the fact that I did not really like living in a dorm situation. I was sort of forced to, because that was how we could handle going to college. But the problem that really escalated was the fact that my dorm is my dorm wasn't exactly the most friendly to people. I really wish I could say, yeah, this is a thing, but it wasn't, until you actually had to sit there and realize how dumb some people really were at my dorm. Because we had one kid in my class, I don't know, I really have no idea what his name was, but I did know his name. His family was not exactly happy with him. But if I explain it any better, he literally pissed everybody off to the point where everybody knew he pissed everybody off, including myself, my dad, and a couple other people, because this was an individual who used his parents to get into the dorm, but how ironic that you had to deal with somebody who spent the majority of the time getting in trouble at the dorm, and his entire excuse was the fact that he I spent time dealing with him, but honestly I worked at a bookstore, so I was sort of trying to stay out of the dorm as much as I could. But when you lived in a dorm and you realize these people are people you don't want to be around all the rest of your life, I mean, I couldn't quite put my finger on it when it came to, like, people in my college who were, like, the most obnoxious people you'd ever meet. but I couldn't really say anything mean, because what right did I really have to defend myself if I was so afraid to actually talk to people? And being in that dorm, I was sort of petrified that I could offend somebody and then it would cost me a place to live, because I didn't really feel like I wanted to be run out of the dorm. But the problem with that is also the fact that people at my dorm were also, there were a couple that were brainwashed by a group called Firehouse Ministries, and I posted it on Reddit about what happened. And what happened was a girl in my dorm by the name, let's just call her Betty. Betty, donated, about $10. But here's the thing, is she used her bank account to do the donation, which was a tithe. And, I had warned her to not trust these people. And, of course, her comment to me is, well, you're a pagan. What do you know about God? Blah, blah, blah. I mean, I really wish I could have just slapped her, but I really didn't want to, and then I didn't want to be really mean to her either, because honestly, she wasn't that big a deal, but she was kind of an annoyance. And the people that I was friends with actually warned her, like, multiple times about the guy running it was a known con artist, and we actually did have his police record when all of this was going down. So Betty decided, against our wishes, to donate the money that should have gone to her college stuff to him, and he turned around, used her bank account, and took out about $600. Yeah, that's what happened. And when that all happened, was right after her brother, who, by the way, came out as gay, got into a massive car accident, and parents who were involved, for one, when he came out, was at the hospital during, like, talking to his dad, and his dad was more understanding than his mother. Then again, his mother flipped out and told, I don't know how many people that her son had, done something stupid. I mean, this is an evangelical family in, like, Bailey, Colorado, who are completely devout. And, Betty, who was in my dorm, was begging me to take her as a roommate, mostly because I think she just wanted somebody that she knew to hang with that wasn't gonna judge her for her, stupidity, but also wasn't going to let her get away with shit like, her mom did. But again, I kind of understood where she was coming from, but also that she didn't really want to be in a room by herself, much less be around people who were like the people that manipulated her. So I quite understand, but I also understood where her mom wanted her to be more self-reliant, but how the frick they did that was really massively stupid, in my opinion, because it just put her in so much danger and so much manipulation that I really felt bad for her, because I honestly didn't hate her but I hated the fact that she just had such a she believed in God so fervently, but she forgot one thing, is being self-reliant means also that sometimes you have to actually put your foot down and tell somebody no, and she couldn't even do that, and that really irritated me, because even when I put my foot down and said no to this guy, he tried to manipulate me into doing stuff for him. And this was a guy who was at a church. Do you get where I'm coming from on this one? Because what he did is he led these people on, and then when they felt comfortable, he would take their money, and then whatever happened to that money, nobody knows. Because that $600 that went from her account, she never saw it again. Her parents literally could not believe that she lost that $600 that quickly after I had warned her not to do it. But her parents, her dad, wasn't about to blame because her mom was so hot on that idea that maybe it's the Wiccans' fault that this got lost, but then how? My mom just didn't grasp how stupid they were until I explained to my mom that there's just so many things wrong at this dorm that I kind of just blew it off at first until I realized how manipulated Betty really was, until I just told my dad, I was like, I cannot handle this anymore. Betty also, I think that one of her biggest problems was that her dad literally tried really hard to teach her that being self-reliant also meant you don't have to pray to God constantly to get help. You have friends. FYI, me and her roommate, which, by the way, I'm gonna make a really funny comment about that one. Betty's biggest issue, and I think that the other issue was she didn't know that some of the people that she was hanging with, the reason I never hung with them is because I knew they were manipulative, and I kind of knew that they were they were not the nicest people in the universe. So I really wished she had actually listened versus going out and suddenly she had no money and I literally had to go and talk to her dad, and well, truthfully I just grabbed her phone and just dialed her dad's number and said, hey, this is what happened. She has $600 in the account originally. How much money did she have in the account originally? Because parents actually checked the accounts. And he said, oh, she's supposed to have, and she had like nothing. I literally looked up everything in her account one day and she had nothing. Like the $600 that she was supposed to have was gone. Her dad asked how the hell that happened, and I said, I don't know, but she's not so. This is not cool because that means she's not able to make rent and she's not able to make her car payment. Her dad literally stopped what he was doing and drove all the way from Bailey to Denver to confront us about it. And when he said, the smartest person in this room is not you right now, it's the fucking pagan standing next to you, you know there's a problem. Her dad does not like me. Her dad thought I was the most evil human alive, but when he saw me going, hey, I don't think this is a good idea, here I am, the pagan, going, hey, I am not here to play enemy here, but I am going to point out your daughter lost money, and I don't think that is a good thing. And his comment was, well, shit, you just made me realize how much this is gonna hurt her and how much I'm gonna have to help her. But the truth is, I didn't have to do anything but stand there and go, I'm really sorry. And his mother, the mom was the one that absolutely could not handle the fact that this happened. I cannot stand the fact that Betty was being told, oh my god, I cannot believe you lost this, haha. I was kind of angry with her, but I was also in a bit angry that she didn't listen, and when we got her to listen, it was too late, and all of her money was stolen. Did I really hate her? No. Betty just did something stupid, and she needed to realize the person that was trying to help her was the pagan, trying to make sure she didn't get any more money stolen and get her life back in order. Her dad, I'm just gonna make this really nice comment about her dad. Please, for the love of God, don't judge her for the stupidity, but do judge the fact that this is a thing. Con artists do this all the time. Do I really think that she deserved what she got? No. Do I really want her to suffer for it? Oh, hell no. What I do want her to understand is the people that care about her are not the people that believe in the same faith. They believe in the fact that she is a human being and she made a mistake. And that was the biggest lesson she learned from all that, from the whole thing. I was glad she learned her lesson, but I was also angry at her. Because I expected her to understand the risks involved living on your own. I already understood those risks because I had lived on my own, and it failed miserably. But I wasn't going to let that judgment on me affect how I judged her. I expected her to understand that her parents expected her to be a little more mature than she was. Unfortunately, parentally, I don't think she understood that what she was doing could potentially hurt her. I literally wanted her to understand that I don't think she's a bad person. I really hope Betty is in a better position than she was a couple years ago when I first met her. My first time meeting her, she annoyed the flying hell out of me. Yeah, she annoyed me to death. Did I hate her? No. Did I really want to understand her? Probably not. But what I wanted her to understand is that there are people out there that would manipulate her and take her shit. But I understood one thing. Her dad wasn't angry at me. Thank goodness. Because I went out of my way to call him and tell him what was going on. I did tell him the truth. I did tell him that his daughter's stuff was stolen. But did I want her to be humiliated? Oh, freaking hell no. What I wanted her to understand is that I will do whatever it takes that she doesn't have to go through that again. But I will say this. Honestly, the whole situation would have been avoided if she had actually used common sense instead of putting herself in the position of getting manipulated by a fucking preacher. By the way, if you are ever manipulated by a preacher, can you do yourself the fucking favor? Don't let one person's stupidity affect the way your life works. Don't let them tell you that you're the one that is supposed to give them that. No, you are not to give them the benefit of anything. You are a human being. And honestly, people make mistakes, and I really hope that one day Betty comes into her own and she understands I'm never going to let her fall like that ever again. Because, quite frankly, being manipulated sucks. I should know. I went through it. And did I ever get angry about it? Yes. Did I ever want to hurt somebody? Maybe. But I never, ever allowed myself to be manipulated as badly as I was with the fact that I could not handle the fact that this happened. FYI, yes, people are shitty, but you are not these people. FYI, no, manipulation happens in the most welcoming circumstances. And these are people who will try to tell you they are good people. FYI, they're not. You are not their friend. You are not their enemy. By the way, if you are from a situation where this is a case, be happy that you are not in a situation where you cannot actually get through this without being injured. FYI, I've been there, done that, had the pizza. It was disgusting. Don't ever let somebody By the way, I am going to mention next couple of Okay. I'll get more of that later.